So at that age, no. I would say from 11 to 15, it was a mix of YouTube and baseball. But when I turned 15, I got Crohn's and I went from like 190 pounds down to 139. I lost all the muscle I had. And so I was like, all right, I'm not playing baseball in college anymore. So then I was like, fuck it. It's just all in on YouTube. And then up until really Feastables, it was basically just YouTube. For whatever, I never thought I would find like this kind of love for I thought it was specifically video making, but I have found over like the last 2 or 3 years, just in general, I just enjoy entrepreneurship, and I've been really deeply loving getting like obsessed with Feastables and other things. And so, which was very weird. Like when I first started a chocolate company, it was like kind of a side thing. But the more I started to work on it, I got a lot of the same highs I got when I was making videos, just in different ways. And so now I'm like, I know way too much about the chocolate industry. I'm like, it's pretty crazy. I never imagined I would have put the thousands of hours I've poured into building Feastables. And so I think just in general, I just really love solving consistent, complex, hard problems. I think that's like what gets me out of bed. And like the harder the problems, the more exciting it is.
Consistent, hard problems. I want to talk about that and also Feastables, but you mentioned Crohn's disease there.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know what that is and the impact it has on someone's life.
Are you aware of it?
I am, because I had a team member that had it. So in order to help support them at certain times when they had to leave and stuff like that, I got a little bit more aware of what it means and how it impacts you. But could you give me your perspective on that?
Yeah. So Crohn's disease is when your immune system attacks itself. So when I was 15, I just started going to the bathroom 8, 9, 10 times a day, not digesting any food because my GI tract is like literally just attacking itself. It's very weird. Your immune system in your gut thinks your gut is a foreign invader. And so it just starts attacking itself, which if you're just using the bathroom 10 times a day, not digesting food, that's why you drop weight rapidly. And it hurts like crazy because it gets very inflamed and it feels like someone's stabbing you in the gut with like a knife constantly when it's really, really bad, which is what I had. So I lost 50 pounds, which is crazy because I was already relatively lanky. And we were just trying different medicine. And then eventually I'm on a pretty extreme medicine called Remicade, where it just basically you nuke your immune system, which is why my voice sounds a little off right now because I just got the flu. I got COVID 6 times. I got shingles. Like I get sick all the time because for me to have my GI tract stop attacking itself, we basically have to shut down my immune system. So I have like a really weak immune system. So I just get sick all the time. Like, so I have like random rashes and things like that. So it's like, it was pretty brutal, to be honest. And then it randomly flares up sometimes and just makes you very sick, very tired. Like I just live life on hard mode, to be honest. Like if you wake up and you have energy, like you're already leaps and bounds ahead of me. Like it makes things way more difficult.
And so you still wake up with some days where you don't have energy.
Of course.
Which is really hard to believe for someone who's so productive, for everybody looking on.
Yeah, you just got to really love what you do. I mean, and push through it. It's pretty brutal because then you compound that with always being sick. And I mean, yeah, I just spent 4 days in a hospital in South Africa because I got the flu, and it just takes me a lot longer to recover from certain things. So it's brutal. And that's where it's like, if I didn't work so much, I would spend more time researching Crohn's because surely there's a better way to stop it than just destroying my immune system. And ideally, I don't do that deep into my 30s and 40s. So I see it as a little bit of a Band-Aid. But, I've met with the top Crohn's doctors in the world. And so far, they're like, this is just the answer. And you're just lucky your, gut isn't attacking yourself. But I don't know. I feel like the medicine they give people with Crohn's is kind of silly. And there's got to be a better way to treat it. I mean, the ultimate solution is they just cut me open and cut out a large part of my GI tract. And then there you go. But
I observed in the team member that I had that had Crohn's, just a bit of a mental roller coaster as well, because there's a certain unpredictability to it.
Exactly.
Which makes life...
Oh, it's even worse when you're filming because you got this huge multi-million-dollar set and 200 people waiting on you. And, sometimes you don't know if you're going to have a flare, but you just got to go fuck it and just down some caffeine and crank it out.
I got diagnosed with ADHD.
You did?
Yeah, I got diagnosed with ADHD, and it made me think a lot about myself and the way that I am. I'm not the type of person to like embody the label or think it really means much. Yeah. I am just who I am. Have you? Are you in any way neurodivergent?
I've been told, by a doctor I have ADHD. I mean, I'm not surprised because I just sit and obsess over things constantly. But I think I'm happy with however my brain is wired. I don't really care to change it. I like I said, I think one of my greatest superpowers is my obsession, and I think some people would view that as a weakness, but I just like if you just think about solving problems 3 times more than everyone else, like you're bound to come up with different solutions.
That's one of the things you mentioned earlier. You like solving hard problems consistently. When you think back over the last 10 years of your life and the success you've had solving some of these hard problems, if you were to like break it down into some core components of that you've learned, one of them is obsession that you've said.
Yeah.
What are the others?
I mean, it's all the typical stuff. Like you are obviously who you surround yourself with. And luckily I just got around the right people in my later teenage years, because I feed off the energy of the people probably around me. It's so obvious. Like I start to talk like them. I become interested in the things they're interested in. I mean, this is all obvious stuff. I'm sure you've heard a bajillion times. So, but just I always have to be protective of the people I'm around, because whatever they say is what I start thinking on. And that's what I start obsessing over. And, one of the best things that happened with Feastables is I just reached out to all the fastest growing chocolate companies, all the fastest growing snack businesses and everything, and just became friends with a lot of the founders. And, that's what would have probably taken me 8-9 years to like solve. After 18 months, it was probably one of the top 10 people in the world when it comes to running a chocolate company and understanding it deeply, just because